funniest is this one.
You are now tuned in. You are now tuned in.
He's the funniest in the world.
To the hottest podcast with your host, Big.
Just in case y'all forgot, this is who I am. This ish right here, this is what I do. This is the Diamond Crew. But I want to give a shout out to my G's and my OGs. But you already know what to do. But if you're new to the channel and you like content like this, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to subscribe. I need you to share this. I need you to hit that notification bell so you always up to date. So another thing I want to get in real quick, because this is something that just came out. The Eagles linebacking core is ranked dead last. I feel like this should give Dean and the rest of the linebacking core the motivation they need to prove the doubters wrong. You know, yeah, we don't have the same linebacking room that we did last year with Kaiser White and TJ Edwards. Really good players, you know. But at the same time, you know, we still have these young players who has been chomping at the bit, like Nakobe Dean, to get in the game and do great things, you know. So I have no doubt there's no doubt in my mind that Dean is the future for the Philadelphia Eagles, and this year he will prove all of the doubters wrong that thinks that this Eagle linebacking core is dead last. Looking at the team right now, I would like to talk about some of the players who may not make it. You know, some of the players, in my opinion, might be Tyree Jackson. You know, with him and all his injuries that he had, I just don't see him making his team, especially with Arnold and Stahl and Goddard. I just don't see him making this team. You know, I don't know if you even put him on the practice squad. I just don't see it happening. I think Tyree Jackson may be one of those guys who we see cut. Another player who I think may not be on the roster is Greg Ward. We all love Greg Ward. You know, especially he was here when, you know, we really didn't have a lot of receivers. And he was a receiver stepping up. That's probably the reason why he's still on this team. But like I said, with the immense talent that we have at the wide receiver spot, I just don't see him being with the Philadelphia Eagles. He may be one of the players that get cut. And these are just my opinions. Also, Charleston Rambo. You know, he's a young player. We don't know what we're going to get from Charleston Rambo. I just don't see him being on the team. Also, Sua Opeta. He may not be a player who makes the roster as well. Davion Taylor is huge. Pause. That's a huge one right there, because I just don't know. I don't feel like we've seen much out of Davion Taylor. I don't know if he's been hurt too much. You know, his availability may be an issue, but I haven't seen much from Davion Taylor. But I still think Davion Taylor is a good player, and he may be one of those guys that can step up, because really it's boom or bust for him right now. You know, he either going boom or he's getting up out of here. That's where it's at. Josiah Scott. I don't know if he will be a player that makes this roster as well. You know, especially with the addition of Greedy Williams. And, you know, a lot of those players who can come in and probably play that slot cornerback role. Josiah Scott did okay in the absence of CJ Gardner-Johnson last year. But, you know, Josiah Scott was definitely the guy that they was picking on, you know, because he was the weak link. Justin Evans, you know, as I said before when we picked him up, I just don't see us keeping Justin Evans. He might be the player that gets cut. I also want to talk about, you know, players that we need to look out for, or players that could probably end up on the practice squad. Tanner McKee is one of those guys that, you know, you may see on a practice squad, or maybe pulled up at different parts of the season. Trey Sermon, man, you know, especially with what we heard from Nick Sirianni saying that he was really a guy to watch. our running back room is already hefty. It's already hefty, especially with Swift coming in here and most likely getting the start. And Penny, Gainwell, Scott, that's a very good running back room, and they're cheap. They're cheap. So do I want to see Trey Sermons out there in the jersey on Sunday or Thursday or Monday, whatever? Yes, I would love to see Trey Sermons. I think he's a good player. He knows Jalen. He's been playing with Jalen. You know, he played with him in college. So I definitely think that he's definitely a player that you will see on the practice squad, you know, if we don't have room for him to start on a regular roster. Greg Cacatera, that's another player who we picked up that I think he's a player to watch. He's a player that can probably squeeze in, that second or third spot at the tight end spot. You know, I mean, it is what it is. He's definitely a player to watch. But if he does not make the team, the starting team or the 53-man roster, he can definitely be a player, you know, that'll be on our practice squad. Marlon T is another player who I definitely think is really good that we've seen a lot from last year. And Janarius Robinson, another player who's may end up on a practice squad, or he's just a player to watch, you know. And Teron Jackson. These are all players that we know can ball, but they just it may not be enough room for them with all the talent that we have for the 53-man roster. But look, man, all this is stuff that we need to talk about, that we need to get clear, and we can't wait to see. I got a really good question for y'all, and this is a question I'm gonna ask, and then we're gonna leave on that. What might we do? What might we do with Derek Barnett? Is Barnett a bust? Is he officially a bust? You know, with where he was drafted at, you know, to what we have, you know, and what we see on the field. You know, he was injured. But what do we do with Derek Barnett? Is he a player that could be here for the long run? This is the time where he has to step up, or this is the time where he has to go. But if you're still watching this and you still tuned in, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to subscribe. I need you to share this. I need you to hit that notification bell so you always up to date when I drop this heat. Hot out.